The Golden Age of Piracy, a captivating and tumultuous era that thrived roughly from the late 17th century to the early 18th century, remains one of history's most intriguing and romanticized periods. During this time, the high seas were ruled by daring pirates who left an indelible mark on maritime history. The Golden Age of Piracy materialized against a backdrop of global maritime expansion and burgeoning colonial empires. It was a period characterized by both perilous adventures and alluring treasures. Firstly, the expansion of colonial empires was a pivotal factor. European powers, such as England, France, and Spain, were engaged in a relentless race to establish and expand their colonial dominions. The Caribbean, Indian Ocean, and the Atlantic trade routes emerged as lucrative theaters for piracy. Secondly, the vast wealth transported by sea vessels during this epoch was irresistible to pirates. Ships brimming with gold, silver, exotic spices, and other precious cargo were prime targets for these audacious marauders. Lastly, the end of large-scale conflicts, including the culmination of a War of Spanish Succession in 1713, played a vital role. With no more massive wars to engage in, numerous skilled sailors and privateers turned to piracy as a means of sustaining their livelihoods and maintaining their way of life. The Golden Age of Piracy was not confined to a single geographical location. It sprawled across several key regions. Firstly, the Caribbean Sea, with its crystal-clear waters and labyrinthine islands, became an iconic pirate haven. This region witnessed a flurry of pirate activity, with Nassau in the Bahamas, Tortuga, and Port Royal in Jamaica transforming into infamous pirate strongholds. Secondly, the Red Sea, along with the coasts of Africa and Madagascar, became a notorious theater for piracy. The island of Madagascar, particularly, boasted the pirate stronghold of Libertatia, a fabled utopia for buccaneers. The Indian Ocean, known as the Pirate Route, was another hotbed of piracy activity. Pirates frequented the waters around Madagascar and the eastern coast of Africa, intercepting lucrative trade routes. The American colonies, especially those along the Atlantic seaboard, were not exempt from piracy either. Coastal cities like Charleston and Boston became targets for pirate raids. Pirates, while often portrayed as lawless rogues, adhered to an unwritten code of conduct or articles. These codes varied between pirate crews, but they generally encompassed rules governing division of spoils, compensation for injuries, and democratic decision-making processes aboard the ship. Interestingly, piracy codes usually forbade acts of torture and cruelty towards captives. Many pirate crews elected their captains democratically, and such elected leaders wielded considerable authority but were subject to the crew's consent. The Golden Age of Piracy was marked by the rise of infamous pirates who plundered the high seas, striking fear into the hearts of sailors and nations alike. Let's delve deeper into the lives of some of the most famous and feared pirates of this era. Blackbeard, also known as Edward Teach, was the embodiment of a fearsome pirate. His menacing image was enhanced by his habit of tying slow-burning fuses into his beard, igniting them during battles, creating a terrifying spectacle of smoke and fire. His flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, was a former French slave ship heavily armed with cannons, which he used to intimidate and capture prey. Despite his fearsome reputation, Blackbeard often sought to avoid unnecessary violence, as his reputation alone could compel victims to surrender. In a dramatic showdown off the coast of North Carolina in 1718, Blackbeard met his end, sustaining numerous wounds before being decapitated by British naval forces. His severed head was displayed on the ship's bowsprit as a warning to other pirates. Calico Jack Rackham was known for his distinctive appearance and his association with two famous female pirates, and Bonny and Mary Read, who served in his crew disguised as men. Rackham's Jolly Roger flag was unique, featuring a skull with crossed swords beneath it, topped with a horned skeleton holding an hourglass. Above the skull was an image of a heart pierced by a dagger, symbolizing his romantic relationship with Bonny. His audacious career came to an end in 1720 when he and his crew were captured by the Royal Navy. Calico Jack and most of his crew were subsequently hanged, and Bonny and Mary Read are two of the most famous female pirates in history. They disguised themselves as men to join pirate crews, and were both known for their fierceness and bravery in battle. And Bonny was the daughter of a wealthy plantation owner in South Carolina, and grew up with a rebellious spirit. She joined the crew of Calico Jack Rackham, with whom she had a romantic relationship. Mary Read, on the other hand, had a tumultuous life. She was initially disguised as a boy by her mother, who wanted to inherit her deceased brother's estate. Mary later joined the British Army, and then turned to piracy. Both women were eventually captured along with Rackham's crew. However, their fates diverged. While Rackham and most of the male crew members were hanged, and Bonny and Mary Read managed to avoid the gallows by claiming to be pregnant. Bartholomew Roberts, often referred to as Blackbeard Roberts, was known for his meticulous pirate code, which was among the strictest in pirate history. It included rules against gambling and drinking, and he prohibited his crew from engaging in certain activities on Sundays. Despite his strict code, Roberts was a successful pirate, capturing over 400 ships during his career. His audacious raids and cunning tactics earned him respect and fear on the high seas. Roberts met his end in 1722 when his ship, the Royal Fortune, was engaged in battle with a British naval vessel. He was fatally wounded by grape shot and became one of the few pirates to die in battle rather than being captured and executed. His body was weighted and thrown overboard. These famous pirates, with their distinct personalities and bold exploits, have left an enduring legacy in the annals of piracy history. Their stories continue to capture the imagination of people around the world. The Golden Age of Piracy was punctuated by a series of epic battles on the high seas. One of the early confrontations took place at Nassau, on the island of New Providence in the Bahamas. In March 1695, English pirate Henry Every led an audacious attack on the heavily fortified town. His crew successfully captured the settlement, plundering it for valuable goods. This event marked one of the first instances of pirates openly attacking a fortified town. Captain William Kidd, who started his career as a privateer but turned pirate, faced his downfall during the capture of the Fancy in 1697. Kidd was ambushed by a Royal Navy squadron off the coast of New York. After a bloody battle, Kidd's ship was seized, and he was arrested. He was subsequently tried and hanged, serving as a warning to other pirates that their days of unchecked piracy were numbered. The Whidda Galley was a pirate ship commanded by the infamous pirate Sam Bellamy. In April 1717, it was captured by a powerful storm off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The ship sank, and its wreckage wasn't discovered until the late 20th century. The discovery of the Whidda Galley's remains, including its treasure, provided valuable insights into the life of pirates during the Golden Age. The Battle of Ocracoke Inlet was a significant naval encounter in 1718. It pitted the notorious pirate Blackbeard, also known as Edward Teach, against a British naval force led by Lieutenant Robert Maynard. The intense battle resulted in Blackbeard's death, as he sustained multiple gunshot wounds and more than 20 sword cuts. His demise marked the end of one of the most infamous pirate careers in history. The Battle of Cape Lopez was a notable encounter between pirate Bartholomew Roberts, known as Black Bart, and the Royal Navy in 1722. It was one of the last major engagements of the Golden Age of Piracy. Roberts and his crew found themselves cornered by Captain Challoner Ogle of the Royal Navy. A fierce battle ensued, during which Roberts was killed. His death signaled the decline of piracy in the Atlantic. These battles were just a few examples of the numerous skirmishes, clashes, and confrontations that characterized the tumultuous era of the Golden Age of Piracy. These engagements contributed to the decline of piracy and the eventual eradication of pirates from the high seas. The Golden Age of Piracy was an era like no other in maritime history. It was a time when infamous pirates roamed the high seas, challenging empires, capturing treasure, and leaving a lasting legacy of both fear and fascination. What chapters of history would you like to uncover next? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to join us on our next voyage into the captivating corridors of the past. Until next time, keep exploring.